Hey guys, it is Wednesday, August 19th. We are going to be doing some more long division today, but we are moving into decimal division. So Mr. Winstead's going to be modeling some new problems for you. You all have done a really good job the last few days on just whole number long division. So we are going to go ahead and transition to decimal division. This again is a skill that is a fluency skill, so you cannot use a calculator on any of this. Okay, so you all have done, yesterday you finished 11 through 16 on this page. In order to find what we're doing today, we're skipping the front of this page and we're gonna go to the back. The title of it is just simply divide. Okay, and you should see problems where there's decimals on the inside. Okay, so that's the page you need to be on. So go ahead and get to that, and Mr. Winstead's gonna show you how to do these problems.
All right, hey guys, so over the past few days, you all been working on long division. So when we first started this right here, Ms. Bridwell and I showed you two different ways. The partial quotient, which some of you call, I think, the big 7 or lucky 7, and the standard algorithm way. So the reason that we wanted you all to start practicing the standard algorithm way, which was the bringing down and all that, is because today is the day you have to use it. You know, the partial quotient, it works well for whole numbers, but it does not work well for decimals. I've yet to find a way to actually make it work. So today, if you are still using the partial quotient method, today's the day you got to switch over. So we're going to start off. There's 3 different ways to divide a decimal. All right, I guess not 3 different ways. There's 3 different types of decimals that you divide. So we're going to start off today with the easier of the 3. So this right here is a problem that's on the page, and you see the decimal right here is in the divisor on the inside of the division problem. This is the easy, I'm sorry, yes, the dividend. The dividend. So this right here is the easiest way. Now there's also when the decimal is in the divisor and the dividend's a whole number. That's a way we'll get to tomorrow or the next day. And there's also the third way where it has a decimal in both parts. That's the hardest one, but it's not really that hard. It's just an extra step. So we're going to start off today with the easier one. So what I always like to do is you want to make the inside number a whole number. So if there's no decimal on the outside, all you have to do is take this decimal and move it straight up on top of the house. I always say top of the house when I'm teaching this. So I take that decimal and move it straight up, and what happens is, basically you take that decimal out. And now this right here is a problem that you all have been working for the past few days. You have a whole number on the outside, whole number on the inside. So you divide just like normal. Excuse me. So, once you do this, just like before, take the number. Now there's one mistake that I've seen a couple of times over the past few days I've been looking at your work. Think, well, it don't really apply here, I guess. So forget I said that. But anyway, so take the outside number and think, how many times will 5 go into 6? And we know that's 1 time. So 1 times 5 is 5. Subtract, get 1, bring down your next number.
Now guys, one thing I want to caution you about, everything we've done so far, we've told you just bring down 1 digit at a time, okay? So again, we're ignoring that 5. Do it one digit. One
of the mistakes that we do get a lot, like Ms. Bridwell said, is we want to bring down everything and make that 115. We don't want to do that. We just want to bring down 1 at a time, because I would much rather try to figure out in my head how many times would 5 go into 11 versus how many times would 5 go into 115. So just bring down 1 number at a time. So how many times will 5 go into 11? We know that is 2. So you notice that I put it behind the decimal because I moved that decimal straight up. Now I know my decimal's in the right place, so I don't have to worry about that. So I know 2 times 5 is 10. Subtract, you get 1. Now we bring down that last number, which is a 5, make that a 15. And I have to go through the steps one more time. 5 will go into 15 3 times. 3 times 5 is 15. And I have nothing else to bring down, and I get a 0 as a remainder. So I know that I'm done. So the answer to A would be 1.23. Now, if you want to double check that, we haven't really taught them how to do decimal multiplication yet.
Yeah.
So if you want to check with your calculator, multiply 5 times 1.23 to see if you get 6.15, you can.
And guys, one thing I know that for my kids and for myself, if you're like me, I've got to know if I did it right before I keep doing some more problems and I may be doing it completely wrong. So we don't have a problem. We keep telling you no calculator. All right. Well, we don't want you using a calculator for anything except for your check step. But if at the check step you want to use a calculator, go ahead and plug it in. That's perfectly fine. And you know that you did it correct and can move on with confidence.
So we're going to do a couple more with you to make sure you understand it. So we're going to go to question B, which is right next to the one we just did. Same thing. I want to make this number on the inside a whole number. And the easiest way to do that is take this decimal straight up to the top of your house. And then, like I said before, this right here makes a whole number now since the decimal has been moved. So you basically have 856 divided by 4. So same process. Take it step by step. Will 4 go into 8? And we know that it will. It'll go into it 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. Subtract. You get your 0. And then bring down the 5. And if you notice, I'm going a little bit faster now because you've all had about 3 days to practice this, so hopefully you're comfortable with it now. So repeat the process. Will 4 go into 5? We know that it'll go into it 1 time. 1 times 4 is 4. Subtract, get your 1. Last step, bring down the 6, make that a 16. And you gotta go through the process one more time. Will 4 go into 16? It will 4 times. 4 times 4 is 16. Subtract and you get your 0. So if you notice that decimal division is not much different at all than what you've been doing. The only difference is we're taking that decimal and putting it at the very top. Okay, we'll do one more and it's going to be question C. And then you'll be able to work on your classwork for today. So question C is
49.92.
49.92 divided by 6. All right. So step 1, get rid of the decimal. So to get rid of the decimal, straight up. All right, now you just start your process as normal. Will 6 go into 4? We know that it won't, so I like to put a 0 there as a placeholder. So, will 6 go into 49? And we should know, since this should be a math fact, that we're going to it 7 times, because that's 42. 6 times 7 is 42. Actually, go into it 8 times, right? So that's 48.
Now, one thing I want to show you all right here is a lot of our 6th grade kids try to do what Mr. Winston did and make their work nice and neat. We just have a scratch page. So like if I went 6 times 7, I know it's 42. If that's, I don't need to erase it. You can have a scratch page somewhere. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? Your work doesn't have to be, this work needs to be neat, okay? But you can have a scratch page where you do just all kinds of different math facts, okay?
So, and when I looked at that right there, guys, I knew that, 49 was, I thought I could get closer. It's okay that, it's basically a guessing check. If I think it's 7 and I get 42, and I think, well, maybe I can get one more 6 in there, do 6 times, okay, that is closer, and I'm not over yet, so that's perfectly fine. You can have all this stuff going on. So I put my 8 up here, 48 here, subtract, I get 1, bring down my next number, the 9, and then I do the process again. How many times do we think 6 will go into 19? Well, 6 times 3 is 18, and that's close, not over. So we're going to it 3. Subtract, I get 1, bring down my last digit, which is a 2, so make that a 12. And 6 times 2 is 12. Subtract, and I get 0. So my answer would be 8 32 hundredths. So just to recap a little bit, this is the same exact process you all have been working on for the past few days. The only difference in today's work is before you can start dividing, you have to take the decimal that's on the inside and move it straight up. Once you do that, divide like you have been for the past couple of days. So, if you're still struggling with the standard algorithm way, which, bringing down and all that, go back to Friday. I believe was the first day we did long division for you, so Friday the 14th, and maybe rewatch that video if you're still struggling and try to work through some of those problems before you get started on these, and that might really help you out. So, for your classwork today, all you're going to do is complete this page.
Look, this is Officer Campbell.
Hey, Officer Campbell. Good morning. How are you?
Now you can go back. We're just introducing you to people.
Introducing. So, what we want you to do for classwork today is basically finish this page. So do D through P. So all you have to do is just finish that page. So once you do that, make sure you put your answers in your Google form. That's how we know that you did it. And if you have any questions at all, let us know, and we'll be happy to help you or answer any questions that you have. Good luck, and hope you have a great day, and we'll have another video ready for you tomorrow.